We continue on the road to spring training, just 27 days away now, and of course that means Blue Jays insider Ben Nicholson-Smith is here with me. And today, Ben, I'd like to remind you that hope springs eternal, especially in spring, especially for baseball fans. And I wanted to see what kind of things you think Toronto needs to do in order to see success in 2020. And for you, that starts with HyunJin Ryu hitting at least 100 innings pitched, something he's managed 4 of 6 seasons so far in his career.
And I think if he can do that, then the Blue Jays will be that much closer to having an ace at the top of their rotation. I don't think anyone's expecting Ryu to go out there and pitch 200 innings. It's just not what he's done in the course of his major league career. But if he's able to give them 100 innings, 15 starts, 20 starts, then I think that you're getting somewhere. Anything more than that, of course, is a bonus. And if he can pitch 150, 170, I'm sure they would be thrilled. But I think it really starts with him giving them that baseline, and then that allows everyone else to kind of fall in line after Ryu.
And we expect that baseline to be there for someone of his level, but it'd be an unexpected person that might be able to round out the rotation nicely. Who do you anticipate that to be?
I think the Jays do need a breakout of some kind to really flesh out the rotation, because you have guys like Tanner Roark and Chase Anderson who should give them some pretty good innings, but they almost need that breakout type guy. You know, someone like a Trent Thornton who had an ERA approaching 5 in his first full season. Maybe that comes down to 4 in his second season in the majors. Or Shawn Yamaguchi, they brought over from Japan. He's someone who is kind of a swing role right now, but if he gets a shot in the rotation, if he ends up taking advantage of it, he's someone who has great numbers in Japan, so it's not out of the question that he could be that guy. Jacob Waguespack would be another candidate, or even Nate Pearson, who won't open the season with the Blue Jays, but Pearson, when he does debut, one of the best right-handed pitching prospects in all of baseball, someone who could be a breakout candidate.
We saw breakouts from Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Busch, flashes of greatness in their rookie campaigns, but it's keeping that going into 2020 that will be a big key to the success.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you look at those guys, and they were pretty good last year. I mean, Vladdy had a good season in 2020 as a rookie, but he didn't quite live up to expectations. And the same for Bichette. I mean, Bichette was really good, but it just wasn't a full season. He only played 45 games. So those guys, I think as we look ahead to 2020, should be counted on for more games. And that's really where it comes down to the difference from 2019 to 2020. It's not necessarily going to be that Bichette's going to have a better OPS. It's going to be that he's going to be on the field more. And an injury could get in the way of that. But I think as long as those guys are healthy, the Jays offense will be in a good spot.
I would hope if you're watching this video, I don't need to explain this to you, but the team that scores more runs generally wins the game, right, Ben? And that was an area the Jays super struggled in last year.
Well, it's interesting because the Jays had a lot of positive stories on their offense in 2019, but as a collective, they still ranked in the bottom tier in Major League Baseball in runs scored. They were only 23rd among the 30 teams, so they need to push that forward. They need to find a way to score more runs. It might be something like 100 more runs, and that has to come from somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where it does come from, but they need collectively to find a way to score a lot more.
And looking at a player that could offensively break out, is there one that you think would impact the team as a whole even more?
I think a guy like Teoscar Hernandez has a chance to do that for this team. I mean, he's someone who in the second half of the season had an OPS approaching 900. That's a really good starting point. The Blue Jays would be thrilled if he could come close to replicating that in 2020. Danny Jansen, too, when he was coming up through the minor leagues, he was a really good offensive player, and he just didn't show that in his rookie season in the majors, but Jansen is another guy to watch. You could also, you could look up and down this lineup, whether it's a Derek Fisher. They have all kinds of outfielders who haven't lived up to their potential. They just need someone to emerge from that group and join that core, and if they do, they'll have a better chance of reaching 800 runs scored in this coming season.
So there's lots of activity on Twitter surrounding the Blue Jays this past week, Ben, because #NewBlue was trending. It looks like new threads are on the way. It looks like they'll be powder blue. Do you rate a powder blue fit?
You know what? I kind of like the classic. Yeah. I think the classic is great. They have an amazing jersey as is. You don't see the Dodgers going and putting a powder blue jersey out there. You don't see the Tigers messing with the Old English D. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit too conservative. I know people like their extra jerseys, but they have a great one as is.
And they'll announce that Winterfest, I believe.
Saturday.
Saturday it is. Stay tuned for that and see what you think.